Okay, so let's start with first introductions. I'm Dr. William Tooma, Assistant Professor of English at Essex County College, and I have here with me
Natacha Lima,
class of.
2018.
All right, Natasha, thanks for doing this with me. Happy to have you back. We always appreciate when the alumni come back and help us out with things like this. You can pass the information on to current and potential students. So let's see. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where do you originate from, and how did you end up at Essex County College?
Well, I'm originally from Portugal, and then I migrated here with my parents.
How did you end up here at Essex County College?
So after I finished high school, it was pretty much my senior year. I was at my guidance counselor's office, and he pretty much told me, don't even bother signing up for any colleges, filling out any applications, because as a DACA student, I was not going to get any financial aid. Um, And I thought that was a pretty lame excuse to keep me away from going to college. So I decided to look around and see what other affordable options I had. And Essex was the only affordable option I had. So I figured if I got a job that paid me well enough, I could put myself through college. And that's exactly what I did.
What was it about Essex? Because there's other community colleges in the area. Is it just because you were local, because you're from Newark, and this is why you chose us?
Yeah, it was pretty much because it was local, because I also didn't have any means of transportation except a bus. So it was the only way for me to be able to get to school. And plus the money for like the bus ticket, the monthly bus pass wasn't that bad on my salary. So it was really like the perfect option for me.
So when we say that Essex is very affordable for students, we're not just talking about tuition. It's affordable. It's like you can. It's not like you're killing your gas tank. You're not going nuts trying to
I
get.
mean, no, it's affordable overall.
Yeah.
It's convenient because it's right there. It's on University Height. Like it's you can go to NJT, Rutgers, and still be pretty close to Essex. Like, I mean, that's how I did it. When I went to a 4-year, I still worked at Essex because it was walking distance. So it's just perfect overall.
What was your major at Essex and why?
Well, English. I got my associate's degree in liberal arts. The reason why is because I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew that I had to go to college and I wanted to go to college. So I thought Essex, unlike a 4-year, would give me a little bit of breathing room with that. I knew I was interested in English. I didn't know what else to do. And majoring in liberal arts, I get all my gen ed done immediately, but I also get to like taste a little bit of like kind of experiment with different classes. So I took a criminal justice class and I wanted to see how that went. Wasn't for me, but it was nice that I got to experiment. And Essex gave me the liberty to do that. So I kind of was just clueless, and ECC helped me figure out what I liked and what I didn't like.
What were your core major courses like? So you were liberal arts, so that's a lot of English classes. So what was it like for you? What was the experience with taking your core major courses?
I mean, it was nice because I started off with English 101, and that was pretty much high school English. So it felt like a really easy transition from high school to college level courses. It was pretty much like somebody was holding your hand, which was not going to be the case if I went to a 4-year. I would have still taken English 101, but it would have been a lot more fast paced. It wouldn't have been as smooth of a transition if I didn't go to ECC. And I know that going to a 4-year and comparing it to my experience at a 2-year, it's very different.
What was your favorite core course that you took?
I don't know, because to be honest, I don't have one that I didn't like over the other one that I did like. I kind of just liked moving up, and the fact that I was able to have honors classes. Maybe the honors classes were just my favorite overall, because again, it felt like just a transition that happened on my own time. I might have not been ready to transition fully into an intense 4-year university right out of high school, but even Essex just guided me. I came from high school, went to Essex, and then even went to honors and then went to a 4-year. So I'm assuming, I'm going to say like any honors courses were really my favorite because it really, it introduced me to how intense a 4-year was going to be.
Now, talking about core major courses here, but what about the gen ed courses? What about, everybody's gen ed courses are different because all of our majors are different. So what was some of your better experiences with your gen ed courses? These are courses outside of your major.
For me, gen ed felt more like, okay, you're free to just explore and wander a little bit into something besides English, which was nice. It was like a breather for me. Because, it gets a little intense with English classes. My psych courses were by far my favorite. They were like a nice break from writing all the time. It went to thinking a little deeper about why people act a certain way or why people do things a certain way. And to be honest, I have like my fondest memory in my psych classes because I didn't get to take psych in a 4-year. So it was kind of like, I don't know, it was just like it's like having dessert after dinner. It was just a little treat for me. I really enjoyed my psych classes.
You were involved with student government, you were involved with clubs. What was student life like for you outside of the classroom?
Intense, because there was a lot writing on our backs. As Senator of Grievance of the SGA, it was students panicking, coming to me. I was panicking with my own studies, but then I had to prioritize their needs. And it was fun at the end of it because although it was hectic, when we were in the midst of things, when you saw the final products, when we finally got those library hours extended for midterms and finals, it was just like a sigh of relief. Like before I left the building, I would always do a little round towards the library just to check on if it was being put to use, if people were happy. And there were students actually there studying with their groups. And I was like, okay, I did that. Like that was nice. And they clearly needed a space to study. So I can go home and I can just like breathe. And I mean, I would be lying if I said it was just hectic because it felt like a little community. So I had my classes and that was intense, but then I went to this space where everybody has their classes and everybody is tense, but we can just focus on something else and be stressed about something besides our classes and our grades.
What's your fondest memory of Essex County College?
So this might not be the answer you're expecting. Graduating. And the reason I say graduating is because, like I said, when we started this interview, my guidance counselor said not to apply to any schools, right? He said, don't even worry about it. You're not going to get in. And like with my grades, I wasn't going to get in and I wasn't going to get financial aid. So there was no way for me to even pay for school. And graduating from Essex, I graduated with a full ride to Rutgers, Newark. I was also salutatorian.
You graduated #2 in a class of over 1,000.
Yeah, I did. I had honors classes. I had everything going on, and I graduated with a 4.0. So graduating, that when I walked on that stage, that was just like, I knew that I couldn't get to that point and be in that position if it wasn't for Essex. So that's why it's my fondest memory. It's not because I left. It's because of the fact, and I didn't leave because I still work there, but it's because of the fact that I knew I was going into a 4-year with everything paid for. I had an associate under my belt. I had awards. I had scholarships because I had another scholarship on top of the full ride. So that was beautiful. But it was all gifted to me by Essex because I think the first time I applied to Rutgers out of high school, I didn't even get in. So if it wasn't for Essex kind of giving me a second chance at fixing my grades and allowing me an affordable tuition, I wouldn't be here. I would not have a bachelor's right now. So that's a pretty like intense situation. And I'll never forget that Essex was the one that gave me that opportunity.
Not Essex specifically, but community colleges in general get looked down upon by a lot of high school seniors, a lot of high school guidance counselors, high school students' parents. Community colleges in general get looked down upon. And I don't, clearly, you and I don't see things that way. So I mean, in addition to everything that you've already said, what do you say to people who think that it's not worth going to a community college before attending the four-year institution to finish?
I know a lot of the people that I graduated with, a lot of people in general that go straight to a 4-year and can't handle it. Or a lot of people that can't even make it past the first semester because they're in debt up to their knees. So there's a lot of complaining and a lot of looking down on, even when I went to Essex, people were like, oh, okay, so you didn't do well. But now I have a bachelor's degree, an associate's degree, I have awards, I have things under my name that they don't. So, I mean, they can say whatever they want, and it does feel like that. Like, guidance counselors do look down on you, and your peers do look down on you for going to community college, but it doesn't really matter where you start. It just matters where you finish. So the fact that I am done now, and I know I couldn't have done it without a community college, I mean, no one's looking down on me being like, oh, you have an associate's degree from Essex? Ew. No, because I graduated and I did very well for myself. So I think once you're past a certain point and you use Essex as a stepping stone, and not as like a destination, which it's meant to be used for, people kind of forget about that judgment. People don't have that towards you anymore because it doesn't really matter. What they're saying is it's just because it's not the traditional path. You normally go straight to a 4-year, but that's just not how reality works. Especially in an urban setting that we're in, it's not the reality of things.
All right. Well, this was great. This was good. Is there anything that you want to say that you haven't said already?
Yeah, like, don't waste your money. Like, I don't know I don't know how to like convince you not to waste your money, but like, buy that car that you wanted, or like, I don't know. I didn't take the bus forever. I actually bought a car because I saved so much money. So buy that car, go out, like, just save your money. Like, you still get a degree anyways.
And there it is. All
Yeah.
right.